Hello, and welcome to the podcast. I'm super grateful you are all here. Now, if you are listening to this or watching this, you will not only hear that the sound of my podcast sounds quite different, but you will also see that my background is quite different if you're watching this. And that is because I am not at home. I am at my real home, which is in Adelaide, South Australia. So for those of you that have listened to the podcast or know me well, you'll know that about a year and a bit ago, my partner and I, we moved to Brisbane, which is in Queensland, Australia. And I'm from Adelaide originally. So I still visit Adelaide quite frequently or as often as I can to see my beautiful grandparents and my family and my best friends and all the things. And so that is where I am right now without my podcast gear. And for the first time in a long time, I am unprepared when it comes to the podcast. Usually I'm so efficient at recording so many podcast episodes in advance and knowing when I'm going to be away so that I can pre-record and so forth. But all of a sudden, all of my episodes that I've recorded previously have run up, and I realized, wow, I have not got an episode for today, and I've had quite a full 2 weeks or a week and a half so far in Adelaide with lots of calls and lots of amazing things going on. And it's now Tuesday afternoon, and I was so close to being like, oh, who's going to notice? I'll just post an episode on a Wednesday, like tomorrow. And I was very quickly after that, I was like, actually, that does not sit right with me. That's not in alignment with my values. Like, I commit to the things I say I'm going to do. I'm going to find a way and all of the things, because the podcast is a huge priority to me and I absolutely love it. So it's nothing to do with that. It's just, life just has gotten in the way in all of the good ways. So quick life update from me. I'll save most of it for next week's episode though, because that is a monthly update episode, which are actually my favorite to record, where I give you the full behind the scenes of my business for the month, like the highs, the lows, everything in between, and all of the things. And they're great, and they've been really well received this year as well. So if you've been listening to those behind the scenes episodes this year, then just know that next week is one of those episodes, and I'm so excited. So I will hold my breath here and not share too many updates right now, but I will just share more fun stuff, non-business related stuff right now. So like I said, I've been in Adelaide for about a week and a half, and I surprised my grandpa. He just means the world to me and more. So he didn't know I was coming, as I hadn't been in Adelaide for so long because I had been so busy traveling everywhere else. I've been in New Zealand, I've been in Europe, I've been in Fiji. I have just been everywhere but Adelaide and but home in Brisbane. And so it was so nice to come back here, because I hadn't been back here since April. That's the longest I've ever been apart from my grandparents, since living in Australia and living in Adelaide. So it was super nice to surprise him. He was so happy, and it's just been nice to catch up with so many of my best friends and go to my partner's farm in Jamestown and spend time with his family, and so many beautiful things. And I'm just high on life from friendships and things like that. Plus I've had the most, abundant time in my business recently, just so many updates and upgrades and, clients onboarding and so many amazing things in my world. And just, on top of that, then just amazing client results. I'm talking 20K months, 30K months, 40K months, 50K months, 80K months, like just so many great client results. And, not just the money, but also like that they feel aligned. They've got a simple business model. It feels sustainable and scalable and all of the things. So my heart is overflowing full, but I'm also busy with lots of things going on, but I do thrive under that and I do love that. And so I was thinking about, what can I create an episode on today now that I'm unprepared? And what I thought I would talk about is honestly like showing you the system, or breaking down the 3-step system that I've used to take countless of coaches now to minimum 30K months and beyond, and how you can apply it in your business too. So just for context, like if you're a little bit newer to my world, I help female coaches scale their business the simple, sustainable way so that they can create more impact, more income, and more freedom in their business. So if this is you, like you want to scale, but your strategy is either nowhere to be seen, it doesn't feel good or doesn't work consistently, making it a super unsustainable approach to scale, or you feel like you're running on this never-ending hamster wheel of overwhelm and chaos, making it hard to complete tasks and show up online, or your monthly revenue is inconsistent and you've hit a sales plateau or even a sales decline and you don't know what to do next, then you're going to really like what I have to share in this mini episode. And the reason I can speak into this with so much clarity and detail is because this was me back in 2019. I was new to business with no degree, no qualifications. I was working 5 casual jobs on the side. I was ambitious though. I was committed and willing to do what it takes, but I had no clue what I was doing. And that can create plateaus or declines and, unsustainability and chaos and overwhelm. But the good news is that running a simple and sustainable and scalable coaching business is achievable for you too, just like it's been for myself and for my clients. But this is what you may be missing if what I just shared is your current situation. And that would be my method, the scalable system. So if you're a little bit newer to my world, the name has had a bit of a rebrand to better reflect the true outcome of what the method is. So this is the scalable system, and it is your roadmap to 30K months and beyond. And this is the exact system that actually made me over $1 million organically in under 4 years of business without costing me my health, my lifestyle, or relationships. I didn't need to use paid ads, I didn't need to burn myself out. It didn't cost me anything, that was important to me in my life. And this is really great news because this system that I have to share not only will get you to your first 10K or 20K or 30K, but it will also get you so much more than that. This system works no matter your stage in business, which I don't find in the coaching industry too often. Too often I hear of strategies that don't apply for all business models, making it eventually unsustainable or caps you in some shape or form or not relevant to you in some shape or form. Whereas this is different. I even had my biggest sales month to date whilst I was traveling overseas for 2 weeks of that month, and I didn't need to cold DM anyone, I didn't need to run ads, and I didn't need to do any unaligned strategies or exhaust myself. I simply just used this system and the sales came running in. Scaling your business does not need to require working harder. It's actually about working smarter. And that's why people like Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, Marie Forleo, Mel Robbins, all of these people, Gabby Bernstein, all of these people, they are actually using this system. The reason they've been able to scale and they've got incredible lives to show for it in the back end as well is because of this system. Take my client as well, my client Abby, she made $70,000 in her first month and got 31 booked calls within 24 hours from her second event using my hybrid funnel converter with less than 400 members in her Facebook group. She's consistently done this since as well. So not only do all these well-known names that I just mentioned before, but it's also worked for me and it's also worked for my clients such as Abby. I've also got a client named Becky. She's an occupational therapist coach, and she went from doing everything and feeling exhausted all of the time to scaling to £14,000 weeks through an evergreen event funnel whilst traveling the world and homeschooling 2 children. She used the sell via chat method on the leads that came through her funnel to convert them into clients, and that's a process that I teach my clients. Also got Liz, she's a beautiful relationship coach, and she went from having no clarity on how to sign clients and no confidence to actually charge for her services to making consistent 15K months in her business after following this process. And I could go on and on about the hundreds of client testimonials and results of people celebrating their biggest months, having 20K months, signing new clients, signing their first clients, having £5,000 weeks, having 5-figure days. The list just goes on. Okay, so here's a really quick breakdown of the scalable system, but you will get to know this system and the depths of it more and more over the weeks from this podcast because, this is just something I've worked on for years and years now, and I've just really been able to get it to this place where it's clearer and simpler than ever before. So the outcome is to scale, right? And we want to do that in the most simple, sustainable way, okay? And so there's 3 things that go into making you be able to scale your business to be honest, whatever figure you want, but let's go with 30K months. The first is a sustainable strategy. Super important that you have that in place. And what I mean by sustainable strategy is a strategy that both feels good and works in today's industry. So many people have a strategy that works, but it doesn't feel good. It burns them out. It exhausts them. Or some people, have a strategy that might feel good, but it's lacking a lot of strategy. And so it might feel good in terms of this quote unquote effortless or not needing to do as much, but it's not generating them the results that they actually want or caps them from getting the results that they want. So there's 3 things that go into creating a sustainable strategy from my perspective and everything that I teach and know. The first is having a process to attract ideal clients every day. And I call this process the daily lead attractor. It's a process I teach my clients. I actually did a whole workshop on it today for my clients and they freaking loved it. And this is the process that's so important if you want to be able to attract the right people in your space. The second piece is having the weekly audience nurturer. You need to know how to nurture or warm up your audience so they're actually ready to buy from you, because some people will be more colder than others, some will take longer to buy than others, and if you know how to nurture them, it's going to speed up the buying cycle. And the third piece to having a sustainable strategy is the hybrid funnel converter. Now, this is super important when it comes to scaling your business, but also to being able to sign them with more ease. So this is how you're going to avoid the cold DMs, the spamminess, the having to feel salesy and sleazy all the time, and just like constantly be working. The hybrid funnel converter is a bit of a combination of having an evergreen event in place and also having a live event in place, and doing those two things very seamlessly. When you do this properly, you actually create impact without burnout, and that's what we want, and that's a sustainable strategy. The next pillar of the scalable system is your seamless sales process. So there's three things that go into creating that seamless sales process that's going to get you the clients and the revenue and the impact that you're after. The first is the no-brainer offer. You can be so good at sales or you can be so good at strategy, but if your offer sucks, like, people aren't going to buy it. So having a no-brainer offer where people feel silly saying no to it is absolutely key. The second piece is having a sell via chat method. So this is knowing how to have sales conversations, whether that be via DM with warm people, or video sales letters, or pitching at the end of your events, or pitching at the end of lives, or selling in your content. Knowing how to sell via that, like in a way that leads to conversations, like sales conversations of people expressing interest in working with you, is super, super key. And knowing how to navigate those conversations. And then there's the third piece that I teach, which is the retention builder. This is really, really important because it's one thing to sign clients into our world, and it's another to keep them in our world. And that's what we really want to do if we want to build a simple, sustainable, and scalable business, because it's not that sustainable if you constantly run out of people because you don't do a good job at keeping them, and you constantly need new people in order to grow your business. Like, I've literally had clients work with me for multiple years, like several years, and they keep coming back, and they've bought all of my services because they love it and it feels good and they're getting the results. Okay, and when you get this seamless sales process in place, that's what's going to allow you to create that income without the plateaus and without the declines. Like, I've never once had a sales plateau or sales decline in my business because of this process. Like, I've made sure I've set things up in a way that actually is sustainable. Okay, so that's that. And then the third pillar is simple systems. Now, systems is super important because if your back end of your business is overwhelming, chaotic, like out of control, how on earth are you going to keep up with things, stay on track, like do things and whatever? And we're not talking about perfection here, but we are talking about more often than not. And we are talking about, just feeling like you've got it all together. Like, as you grow and business, like, it's sometimes going to feel like overwhelming. You're going to have busier days and weeks than others. That's totally okay, and that's normal, especially if you're in a growth season. But if that's how you feel constantly and it's impacting you to actually show up online, you're doing it wrong. So the things that you need in place here, there's three in particular. One is the organized back end. If the back end of your business is very, very organized and structured and clean, it's easy to find anything. You could name anything to me business related and I will be able to find it in under 10 seconds because of the way that I've set things up, and that's very, very key. The second thing is what I like to call the template hub. You need to have templates for everything you use in your business. I have a rule with my clients that I share, which is that if you have to do anything like more than once, you should have a system or a process or a template for it, right? We want templates for everything, and that's how you're going to work smarter and not harder. And then the third piece that you're going to need when it comes to having simple systems in place is what I like to call the business evaluation. And this is important because things are going to go wrong in business. You're going to outgrow things. You're going to get stuck. You're going to get lost. And if you don't know how to figure out what the actual root cause problem is and what it is you need to do differently, then it's pretty hard to know what to focus on and therefore like what to change. And then it can take a lot longer to get to where you want to be. And this is where knowing how to evaluate your business is key. So I teach my clients this process so they can find out what's a red flag in their business, what's a yellow flag, and what's a green flag, and know how to pick and choose the appropriate things to turn that all around. And when you do that, what that allows you to do is create freedom without overwhelm. So sustainable strategy gives you impact without burnout, seamless sales gives you income without plateaus, and simple systems gives you freedom without overwhelm. And collectively, when you create and you refine and you master all of this, this allows you to scale. And then it's here we can focus on continuous alignment, we can focus on delegation to buy back your time, and we can focus on your profit margin, knowing that we always want to keep that really high and really strong. Okay, so the scalable system is super simple. We teach you how to scale your coaching business to consistent 30K months the simple, sustainable way. Okay, so you can create more freedom, more impact, and more income in your life. And this is exactly what I teach my clients inside my program, which is the only way you can work with me, which is Scale School. If you wanted to join Scale School and we were to work together, we would start by installing these 4 systems in particular into your business in the first 90 days so that you can start scaling your business. So the first is the daily lead attractor. This is super important that we install this super quickly so you can attract high quality leads in your business every day. The second thing we would implement is the no-brainer offer. Really important that we have that in place because you want to create an offer so good that your audience feels silly saying no. This is how you're going to avoid the back and forth sales conversations forever and, all of that sort of stuff. Like, we don't want that. The third thing is the hybrid funnel converter. This is like the best way that I sign clients with a lot more ease and have these big cash injections every single month. And it's basically having a way for your audience to learn and buy from you every day and every month. And then the fourth thing is having that organized back end so that you can organize the back end of your business so you can show up daily without overwhelm. So they're the 4 priority things that we would put in place if we were to work together. Now, if you've listened to this podcast episode and you're like, wow, this is me, I need this system, I need your help and all of the things, and you're ready to prioritize, your business truly and focus on, the growth of it for the remainder of the year, or whenever you're listening to this, then I would really love to support you to scale your business to consistent 30K months and beyond. And the best way to see if we're the right fit to work together or for you to apply for Scale School is to book a 30-minute free roadmap call with me. And in this time, we'll do 3 things really quickly. I'll have a look at your niche, your offer, your strategy, just to see what's possible for you in terms of clients and revenue and growth. I'm also going to take a deeper look into your coaching business to see the number one thing that's actually holding you back from growing to the next level right now. As usually for most businesses, there's one thing that when uncovered actually allows your business to grow. And the third thing is we'll really start to map out a bit of a 3-step action plan to help you get the leads and the clients that you're after. This will also tell me if I can help you, and if I can, then I will invite you to take the next steps and join Scale School so I can really support you the whole way to those 30K months and beyond using the scalable system. So if you would like to have one of these calls and see if I can help you and get support regardless, then book in one of these calls. The link will be below. Otherwise, DM me the word roadmap on either Facebook Messenger or Instagram, depending on where we are connected, and I will send you the link, but it will be located below for you. But otherwise, come have a chat with me. Just type roadmap and we'll go from there. And I would love to support you to scale your business the simple, sustainable way. I hope you've enjoyed this rapid fire episode of little golden nuggets to take into consideration on what's actually relevant and necessary to grow. And I hope to see you on a call with me so I can really support you further. Stay tuned for next week. I'm super excited for the episode. Message me if you have any podcast title recommendations that you would like me to cover in future episodes, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode and want my help to scale your coaching business much faster, then I want to invite you to join Scale School, the 12-month mastermind for ambitious female coaches ready to scale their business to 30K months and beyond the simple, sustainable way. Scale School is the only way to work with me. So if you'd like to learn more and see if this mastermind is for you, simply click the link in the show notes or come DM me at Sofia Rose Bernardi on Instagram to chat. Until next time, take care.